The new talk with J.D. Vance. He's chatting about how very important cryptocurrency will be to our money and the days to come. We will also check out what's going on with quantitative easing. It's time for the government to make money. What does that mean for the business and the crypto market? That's something I want to talk about. There's more news about Europe and XRP as well. Let's get this over with right away. A lot of people liked crypto speech. Also, I know a lot of smart people who love crypto. There are smart people I know who aren't sure about it. For our readers, could you just make the case for crypto for people who are worried about it or don't really understand it? There are lots of people out there. Yes, I know a lot of people own it. I own Bitcoins here, but I'm also the Vice President of the United States. For now, I want to be careful, but I believe that the main benefit of cryptocurrency is that it provides a way to send and receive money in this digital age. In the past, if you wanted to buy something, you would put a dollar bill or a gold coin on the table. One of the great things about Bitcoin is that it can do the same thing as cash, but in a digital form that is safe from fraud and allows people to buy, sell, and keep value in a way that fits with the modern technological age we live in. Having said that, I fully understand that all of these things come with risks. There are always risks with new tech. In the Trump government, we say, let people come up with new ideas. People should figure this out on their own. If the people who are against Bitcoin are right, and I think they're wrong, that will win out in the market in the end. If people who support Bitcoin are right, and I agree with them, they'll make their case, and it will win out in the end. A government that tells certain businesses they can't do what they need to do is something you shouldn't have. People need to be able to make their own choices. That's kind of how we've been going about things. We want rules and regulations that make sense. We want to make it possible for the cryptocurrency business to join the rest of the economy. The rules of economics, specifically the laws of supply and demand, will decide what happens next. Don't forget that Bitcoin is the biggest problem with this digital change. Everyone wants people to focus on Bitcoin because the other technology, your XRPs, Stellars, and Chainlinks of the world, is what makes this whole system work as it does now. I think that's where the most wealth will live and be traded. That's why I talk about XRP a lot. I've worked in crypto for more than 5 years. Every day I work 12 to 14 hours on this. I've looked at everything there is in the crypto business. Finally, I think XRP is my best chance to become very wealthy very quickly over the next few years. And all around, the amount of XRP has gone up. The number is red everywhere except for XRP. In other words, people are selling Solana, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, but big money is coming into XRP. We've already seen more than $1 billion put into spot XRP ETFs in less than 3 weeks. What do you think this will do in 6, 8, or 12 weeks? XRP can only be given out so many times. They have to go to the markets after we're done with it. When that runs out, the only people who will sell are small investors and, of course, some big whales. You don't have enough XRP after that. Out of the 8 billion people in the world, only 2 to 3 million own XRP, right? People won't believe it until they really understand what this technology can do and how it can change the banking system. They won't be able to do anything now. They'll buy XRP for $10, $50, or $100, right? Right now, 2,000 XRP will get you 1,000. When XRP hits $10,000, you can only buy 10,000 of them. That's how it goes. You get the idea if it goes to 20,000. Okay, let's look at what's going on with XRP and the European system in the EU. Europe just did something big with crypto. XRP, Stella, and Algorand have now been officially added to Europe's single digital record. And I think that's great news for crypto because it means that Europe is finally becoming more open to it. The region with the strictest financial rules in the world now wants to add blockchain straight to their settlement infrastructure. I'm really sorry. Let's talk about what this means for crypto and where Europe is going. So what did really happen? The European ledger is basically a single system for all of Europe's digital assets. It is currently being built and tested. Now XRP, Stellar, and Algorand have been checked out and added to it. Since crypto is becoming more popular, it's basically the EU's plan to make its whole banking system more secure and flexible for the future. Tokenizing central bank money, private bank money, financial instruments, and other digital assets will be done on a single decentralized platform that everyone can use. That being said, why did they pick XRP, Stellar, and Algorand? Well, each chain does a real, dull, and unattractive job that officials love. XRP is the chain for payments and settlements. Of course, it makes sense to choose them for the EU record. No matter what you think of the XRP army, they've been in business for 10 years and won every case. They are now one of the safest options for banks to use to settle payments. Stellar is also on the same page. They make it possible to pay without borders, tokenize assets, and of course disobey. They also offer a global payment method for businesses. Tokenization was another reason why Algorand was made. They are known to be a RWA chain and have a high turnover with low fees. They are also very scalable. That means these three are the exact types of public chains they want. This is a big deal for me because it's one of the first times that a major region has publicly recognized public chain assets in a regulated financial system. In a way we haven't seen before, that puts XRP, Stellar, and Algorand in front of organizations. When it comes to fast money transfers, cross-border payments, and getting tokenized assets into regulated markets, they'll have a straight way into Europe's future payment stack. And if this works, we can be sure that other areas will follow suit. We can also expect other areas to follow the plan. You can see that XRP is ready to use in the US, the UK, Japan, the Middle East, and Africa. Ripple and XRP are ready all over the world. Singapore, do you think? Southeast Asia. If you're interested, I broke down the European ledger in detail and made a movie about it. It came out 2 days ago. 22,000 people have seen it. You want to know all the little things, and I tell you them. This is the video. Okay, then of course just a little more. It was based on this post about the XRP, XLM, Algorand European ledger. As I already said, if you want to learn more about this, please watch this whole movie I made. It took me a long time to put that together. Okay, now let's find out. Quantitative tightening ended on December 1st. The money is now going to be turned back on. What does that mean for our investments though? Let's look into this a little more in depth. I believe that the end on December 1st was historic. It was widely expected, so no one should have been surprised. I also believe it's historic because it really does mark the start of a new era for the Fed's role in building on the monetary policy tools it has used since then. We used to call the Federal Reserve the lender of last resort. I think we now have to admit that the standing repo facility, which was set up during or after the KERA, is basically now the lender of last resort, right? That's right. Just yesterday, on December 1st, it was tapped for about 14 billion units to make cash. The Fed just stepped in like the day he quit. It was once a big deal, but now the Fed just steps in every day. Now that we're in this system, monetary policy plays a big part. This is what Fed members mean when they say that the ample reserve system is the future of the Fed. We don't want to use rare reserves again. We're not going to be in an abundant reserve system, but we are in one right now. We think that $6 trillion is the right amount of balance sheet capital for the Fed to keep and have ready to go whenever the banks ask for it. So you're pretty much putting off the chance of there ever being a banking crisis. There is no price discovery or liquidity discovery going on.